Sue Wood from Microgrid Knowledge, and I'm here at Microgrid 2018, where we took a break to talk to Nicole Bulgarino from Ameresco about microgrids and resiliency. Tell us a little bit about Ameresco's history in doing work for the federal government.
Sure. So since inception, one of our primary customers has been the federal government, being that they're one of the largest consumers of energy. It definitely aligns well with our offering. We also differentiate ourselves with being able to provide very innovative solutions, and definitely the federal government is one of the leaders of incorporating those and installing those innovative technologies. So we've done over probably billions of dollars of energy work, mostly through performance contracting, where we're guaranteeing performance and savings where the government doesn't have to outlay capital. And that's very key to them because they've been obviously through budget shortfalls for many years, and that hasn't changed. So several types of projects, from working with clients like the GSA to large Department of Defense customers like the Army, Navy, Marine bases, to other customers like the Veterans Administration, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, we do have projects with them, to the Bureau of Prisons. So really anything federal, and they all are large consumers of energy.
So have you seen changes in terms of what they're looking for as we're seeing this growth in distributed energy, microgrids? Is there interest in these technologies on the federal side?
There is definitely interest in what resiliency. So resiliency being their ability to maintain operations upon challenging events or unplanned events. And we've seen them, they've always been focused on missions and operations. However, I think more recently with more weather events, with more threats of cybersecurity, more aging infrastructure, there's even more of a driver to really have projects that have some kind of resiliency to that. Now, what that means to one agency is very different from another agency. For example, you might have a military base that wants a complete advanced microgrid with the storage, with the distributed generation, and with the microgrid controls all together. You may have another agency, like the Academy, Coast Guard Academy, where just putting in some additional electrical feeders just to help give them a little more protection against outages. So we're seeing everybody wanting it, and it's an important part, driven from headquarters down. Just anything that can help give them more resiliency to mission failure.
And can you tell us a little bit about some of the projects that Ameresco has done that have brought about this kind of resiliency?
Sure, and one of our most proud projects that's in construction right now is for the Marine Corps at Parris Island in South Carolina. So that is where they train all their new incoming soldiers there in that island. And they very much need to be able to train them, get them in and get out. The faster that they can get them out, the more that they can train. So obviously being on an island, they're also subject to utility failures because of threats of hurricane, tornado, different weather events. And they also have a pretty aged infrastructure there too. So we developed a project that had different components of resiliency. The first being energy efficiency, which we still promote always first, because the smaller that your load is, the more easily it is to protect it if it's smaller. So energy efficiency first. Then we also put in a new cogeneration system for them, where we're able to take the heat load that they have, that they need there, and be able to generate electricity with that as well. Then we added another 5 megawatts of solar on top of that, and then added a battery so that on the event of utility loss, we're able to keep them in an island mode with the cogeneration system and the solar, and that storage acts as the transient between those two systems. So that gives them the ability to go on without any kind of impact at all from utility loss.
And for a microgrid, if you can capture that energy efficiency, that energy savings, then you potentially can install a system that's less expensive. Correct?
That's exactly right. And for this case, just being able to, not only from an electricity standpoint, but also reduce their heat load, we're able to better size their new boilers that they need, new cogeneration system. And overall, we're providing close to 80% of their electricity will come on site. There's peak times that they're still going to be purchasing from the utility there, but they have the ability to, if they do lose that, they should never know that they've had a loss of utility. And that will also save them from having to evacuate. I mean, because of a failure of a utility, they can keep the people there because they will have power that's non-interruptible.